Travels with John Stephenson here, John and June Guyman Stephenson, and we're on a little trip down through Grant County and Gallatin County today and doing some work on the car. The good folks over at Dry Ridge Toyota are helping us with that. And we got a little burr-up or saddle and decided to take a little ride over to Gallatin County where my dad and mom grew up, and the Binghams and the Stephensons. Bingham's in Grant County, and my dad in Gallatin, and the corner right up through Flat Creek, and they called it. And Dad used to pitch baseball down here when he was caught by a fellow by the name of McBee, and McBee happened to be a Clarence McBee, the son or the father of former state representative Bill McBee from Boone County, and he was the catcher for my dad pitching baseball. And I remember seeing some of those contracts for $25 and $35 and $40, which was a lot of money back in those days to pitch baseball, a left-hander. And down there where the mayor's office is right now, the city building in Glencoe, is where one of the ball fields was many years ago. So I'm here blessed by two individuals, and I want them to introduce themselves first to us. We'll first ask our magistrate to introduce himself.
Magistrate Ethan Moore of the 1st District of Gallatin County.
Now, I'll tell you what, to make it a little clear, because we're filming here and we're distanced properly, we got our mask on, but I think it'd be straight and fair if we can move our mask down for the filming, so
Sure.
Sound will be a little better for us here.
Sure.
Now, who are you again?
Magistrate Ethan Moore of the 1st District of Gallatin County.
Now, give me an idea where that is in Gallatin County.
The 1st District encompasses the city of Warsaw, and it goes about 5 miles up US 42 to 127, and goes out about 2 miles out 127, and comes up Spencer Road on the right side and circles back around by Sugar Bay Golf Course on Dry Creek and comes back into Warsaw.
Now, for those who want to ask, what does a magistrate do and how many of there are you?
Well, in our county, we have 4 magistrates that sit up the fiscal court with the judge. And one of our main duties is to set the budget for the year and for the annual budget in June and July, to see the disbursement of the funds, and making sure that our constituents, the voters, are taken care of. If they have any problems or concerns with their roads or properties or anything like that, they can come talk to us. You know, we're kind of the voice of the people to talk to the judge and make decisions that are sound for our county.
Right. Now, Judge, tell us about yourself. Your name is?
Ryan Morris, and I'm the Judge Executive of Gallatin County.
And the Judge Executive position is sort of a unique position because years ago it was a judicial position as well as an administrative position, right?
Correct. I don't know the exact dates, but it seems like it was in the mid to late 70s when you had some judicial powers with folks that might be in trouble or things needed, and then that was changed. So the name Judge Executive continues on, but it's more of just a county fiscal responsibility and kind of the mayor to the county.
Executive, right?
Yeah.
And you represent, as Judge Executive, you represent the entire county.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the entire county of Gallatin.
All right.
100 square miles of it.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you know what the population is now?
The population, we're still waiting on the numbers from the most recent census. Prior to that, we hover between 8,500 and 8,800 people.
Fantastic.
We hope that number went up a little bit since the census, but we haven't had those yet.
Now, I'm going to go back in history just a little bit here.
Okay.
The last judge that I actually interviewed here was Judge Clarence Davis,
Okay.
that I talked to. And of course, I talked to him regularly anytime I was in positions like I was Deputy Secretary of Transportation and Commissioner of Motor Vehicles,
Right.
and Superintendent of Education. And when Clarence needed something for the county, he didn't hesitate to come to Frankfort and talk to people.
Right.
And he was a good man, and I had to say that.
Yes, he was a good man, and he did a lot for the county.
He was a
very
real
good judge.
real spokesman, and I can tell you are too.
Yes.
I think the citizens need to know that. And just by the fact that you open your doors for me to come in and interview with you and
Sure.
talk to you.
Well, it was
Shows
intriguing.
your openness.
It was intriguing. I'm intrigued by you to know what we're going to talk about. Sure.
Well, so we got the magistrate position and we've got the judge's position. Now, give me an overview of what you actually cover then in the county. I know it's planning and zoning, right?
Mm-hmm. So planning and zoning, code enforcement, the road department. We help with the sheriff's office and the help them with their budget. We help with the county clerk, the PVA, the jail, Parks and Rec, and that also includes. We also do the very responsible for the Gallatin County Volunteer Fire Department. We help with the Glencoe Fire Department and our EMS and ambulance services.
All the first responders.
All the first responders in the county we help with and help guide them and give them the tools they need to be successful.
And that's just one of the most important things that is right now is our
Yes.
first responders, particularly with this virus that has been placed upon us.
Yes,
As we know, they've said the other day, 500,000 people now have died in our country from the virus.
Right.
And we always have to remember the fact the virus came from a place called China.
Right.
Now, does that mean that all the Chinese people are evil? No. But it does mean that the Chinese communist regime did not give us the proper information to prepare us for this virus. And that's a sad thing that happened and something that we should keep in mind with responsibilities for this. Just like you have responsibilities as a judge.
Right.
We all have responsibilities. Well, we have a responsibility as a government, and our president and our national Congress and senators have a responsibility to let the Chinese folks know, and the Communist Party at least, that, hey, you should have given us this information. You are responsible for a lot of this deaths that we're having, not only in our country, but around the world.
Absolutely.
And so there's always responsibilities that go with every job. And whether you're a magistrate or a judge, senator or a congressman, or the president.
Correct.
So I really appreciate what you're doing here in Gallatin County. Give me a little rundown of some of the major projects that are sort of underway or status quo or looking for the future. What are you looking for?
Well, we're currently working on a big thing that we're working on now is our fairgrounds. We're trying to get our fair back established. That's something that we're working on. We will be working on the new budget. We're currently working on the budget for fiscal year 22. I believe it's 21. We'll be working on fiscal 21, 22. Working on those. Always working with our volunteer firefighters to keep them with the best equipment they have, provide the best ambulance service that we have. A lot of projects, always working on economic development and trying to provide jobs for our community and places for people to go to work. Currently, we're trying to battle COVID and get people back to work, and working with our health department to push the vaccine out and get as many people that want it vaccinated. That consumes a lot of our time. So,
It does. And it's almost as if when you get right down to it, you're almost like a living organism.
Right.
Your pulse is beating, and the pulse of government is always beating.
Always be.
And you need to have nourishment, you need to have refreshments, you need to have rest.
Right.
Government is not easy.
Right.
It's hard work.
Sure.
And my good mother, bless her heart, Garnet Bingham Stephenson, wrote a verse that I often put on my Facebook page and YouTube page about service to humanity is the best work of life. And I appreciate what she wrote about giving a lift to your fellow man.
Sure.
This is really what government is all about.
Absolutely.
Giving a lift to your fellow men and women.
Yeah.
Helping people up when they're down
That's right.
and helping them share when they're up.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that's also what our churches are all about.
Sure.
And one thing we'd never want to forget, the founders knew that without God, we would not be a country. And without God and his people, we wouldn't last long.
Amen to that.
Because I've watched government all my life, now for my 77 years, and I can assure you, watching it, we would not be America without the founders planting the seeds for us through our Constitution, our rights given to us not just by government, but our rights given to us by God. And but that takes godly, principled people like you guys and the other women that are involved in, because women are involved. I saw them out here. It all takes a functioning organization, right?
Yes, it does. Yes,
it's a teamwork.
Don't forget the women out here. They are. I often joke that this job could be done without some of us, but those women there are really, really vital to the organism, keeping it alive.
Keeping it alive and keeping it going.
Absolutely.
Well, you've got some beautiful projects there. What about your budget now? Is it going to be tight because of the virus, or is it going to be tighter? Or
there are some things we're certainly watching closely with jobs and the amount of revenue coming in as opposed to the revenue going out. So there are things that we're watching. We've been very conservative. I do feel that our county's in a very good financial position, but we just have to keep a watch on it and keep keep an eye on it and make sure we get to where we need to be.
Right.
And we're blessed with the industry that we have here.
Yes.
With New Core right down the road, the steel mill, the expansion they got going on, and Dorman's right here in town, which is our largest employer. I mean, we're very blessed with, there are some counties that don't have the industry that we do have, even though we're so small. We're very lucky to have them as our economic partners. We need them here.
Well, that's all part of being in the elected office, isn't it?
That's right.
Is whether you're a magistrate, whether you're county clerk, or your PVA. I worked with all the county clerks when I was commissioner of motor vehicles, and worked with all of them and watched how they operated their offices. They were sort of under us at that time.
Right.
I don't know if they still are or not, but they were. And every county is a little different. Having filmed the history of all 120 counties, I can assure you that there's a great difference of diversity in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, all the way from the New Bend down in far western Kentucky, where you have to go into Tennessee to get back into the last part of Kentucky. I remember sitting out there. Ida Smith was her name, and sitting on her front porch and watching the Mississippi River go by. And I thought, gee whiz, folks, we're still in Kentucky here.
Right, absolutely.
And an all-day drive all the way over to the end of Pike County.
Sure, right.
And so it's a wide state with a great variation of what's available. But I think people always ask me, since I've traveled the world, and Europe by train and Canada by train, traveled all through all the states, they ask me, where would you rather be? What's the favorite state? I said, no, I had to be honest with you, Kentucky.
Yes,
You got a variety in Kentucky that you don't get anyplace else. If you don't like the weather, stick around, it'll change.
Right. Yeah. And add to that, there's no better county than Gallatin.
We're proud of that. The best people you'll ever meet.
The best
people you'll ever meet. Right here in Gallatin.
Well, I'd have to say that we might debate that a little bit, but I know how you feel.
You know how we feel. Yes,
That's
absolutely.
right.
Absolutely.
You won't debate us. We'll win every day.
That's right.
We're proud of our county and a small county, and as Magistrate, Ethan Moore said, that our industry is big, and their partners, they're a reason we're successful here. A lot, and I can't remember the number, but it's 60 or 70% of all economic development comes from existing companies, existing business that are here. So the partnerships that we have, I put that up against any other county partnerships with their businesses.
That's a big part of it. You got to work with what you got.
Absolutely.
And
help them be successful. We have to give them the tools and give them the government to be successful in our country.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
For sure.
I never will forget Roger Bingham, my cousin, who was on the Survivor show.
Yes, sir.
Well, my mom, Garnet Bingham, all five of the 6 children were school teachers. And Wilbur Bingham, Hugh Bingham. I just drove by and took pictures at a big Grant County school down there.
Right.
And Hugh Bingham would probably turn over in his grave if he saw that big school.
Sure.
He taught there many years agriculture. And then Wilbur Bingham not only taught and was a principal, but was the mail carrier. And Don Bingham was a soil conservationist for, I think, this territory in Carroll County and Grant County. And And then Roger, when he got on that show, I wrote the song for him.
Really?
And sang it and made a DVD for him to take with him so he could promote Kentucky all over the country when he went and spoke.
Right.
And he spoke to the legislature. And if you go out on my website right now under www.godsindependence.com or www.jstephenson.com, you can see that song that I wrote. A little piece of it is, his name is Roger Bingham. They call him Kentucky Joe. He hails from Grant County, but Crittenden is his home. A-traveling to the outback, oh, Roger, he did go. Surviving in Australia on that TV show. That's just a little bit of it to give you. And we sang that and wrote it and for him to be able to hand out when he went someplace or when he went on a radio interview.
Sure.
And it was to promote Kentucky.
Sure.
That's what my whole history tapes were about. Promote Kentucky. Interviewed over 300 and some people in front of their local courthouses so that people could see from Kentucky from one end to the other. And that's why we're here today. Now, are there things right now that you have an interest on in Frankfort that you're working on that you need help on? Is there anything that you can think of?
There revenue for our roads, and infrastructure. I think that's a big one for me. We have major artery that is definitely in need of repair. US 42, both east and west, that runs along the river. And that's a big topic. That's probably the number one for me. I mean, I think that's a goal of the fiscal court of all the magistrates, that we want to see, more funding and our infrastructure repaired and kept up with. And that's a big one.
And our schools probably too.
Schools, absolutely. We have a great school, all great facilities. From where I went to school, we didn't attend the buildings that they have now, so school is definitely, school is a lifeline of your community. If you don't have a school, there's not many communities out there that don't have schools, and I think that's certainly a big one.
Well, I was talking a little earlier to a Gallatin County graduate. Of course, I hated to give him bad news. He said he was born in 43, 44, and I was born in 43, and I said, oh my goodness, that means we played basketball against each other.
Right.
I was at Simon Kenton, and he was Gallatin County.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to tell you this, fellas. I came off the bench, and I'd get sent varsity game. I'd scored 25 points in the reserve game. Came off the bench, shot 19 points, and we won the game by 2 points, 58-56, and they carried me off the floor that night when we beat Gallatin County the first game of the season. And I said to all them guys now that from my class in 1961, I said, you're lucky, fellas, you didn't have to carry me off the floor now at 386 pounds. You all have hernias.
That's a good story. I'm a big sports fan, so that's a big story.
Well, having fun with Gallatin County playing basketball, as he said and I said, we were always gentlemen and sportsmen. You never seen an unsportsmanlike thing out of Gallatin County players, and their teachers and their school system and the people. And that's a real important thing. Now, is there anything else that you all would like to bring up to talk about Gallatin County? First of all, tell me, are you married?
I am married.
And her name?
Wife, Megan. We've been married for going on 13 years. It'll be 13 years this year. We have 2 little children, Reagan, who is 10, my daughter, and Jasper, who is 7, my son.
Fantastic.
I've lived here my whole life. Long history here. My grandmother was a school teacher here. My grandfather.
Remember her name?
Jane Morris.
Okay.
And she taught 3rd grade for a little over 30 years.
Oh, wonderful.
And my grandfather was a Baptist preacher here in Gallatin County and around Carroll in this area. And then my mother's side, my grandfather was a farmer. And so rich history for me. I don't ever see myself living anywhere else. So I've lived here my whole life. That's all I know.
Wonderful.
Gallatin County. So.
Well, being an old Baptist, I'm an old Baptist myself. Now, I married a good Catholic girl, but I'm an old Baptist. Being Baptist won't stop you from sinning, though, but it will stop you from enjoying it.
Yes, sir. I like how you put that. There you go. There you go.
Now, are you married also?
No, sir, I'm not.
Oh, look out now, boy, I tell you what.
Lived here all my life. Families lived here for years and years, deep history right here in Gallatin County. We haven't lived anywhere else.
Well,
I would think-
the right one will come along eventually.
Well, I don't worry about that. There's a lot more other things to worry about.
Well, that's true. That's true. Although I had to say the smartest move I ever made was marrying my wife, June Guyman Stephenson. She's the one that traveled through all 120 counties with me. Now, think about this. We weren't married and she did that.
Yeah.
And
Dedication.
that's dedication,
Absolutely.
and we were both in the Lord. And I had to say, and this is the God's honest truth, it was in 1956, a little one-room Baptist church in Kenton Station, Kentucky. One room. My mother was a pianist and Sunday school teacher. My father was a deacon. Brother Kerger was a pastor, and Polly his wife. The reason I say all this is because the church is a very important part of your lives
Agree with that.
in the counties and in the state and in the country. And 4 deacons. Now think about this. I remember this. 4 deacons: Vernon Likens, Walter Roden, John Grizel, and Carl Covey. 4 of them drove that old rickety church bus all the way to Louisville to a Billy Graham crusade. And I got to hear Billy Graham speak that night, and the message he gave was that it's the Holy Spirit's job to convict, it's God's job to judge, and it's my job to love. I have never forgotten that my entire life. And I got to meet him, and I met even Cliff Barrows personally later, and went and filmed when they came to the Cincinnati Stadium. I filmed all of that and put it on my shows. And I've never forgot that opportunity. And it turns out my best friend in life, one of my best friends in life, now owns the Christian radio station over in Falmouth, WIOK 107.5 Tri-State Gospel, 107.5 FM. And I get to listen to 3 or 4 beautiful sermons every morning. Adrian Rogers, David Jeremiah, and Michael Youssef, and Dr. Dobson, and then Gil and Jan Hammond. He went on to be Assistant Superintendent of Education for Kentucky under Alice McDonald, and I went on to be Superintendent of Education. And we started teaching together in 1970. He taught at Beechwood, and I taught at Erlanger Lloyd. And by the way, they talk about all lives matter or all black lives matter. All lives matter. I taught the first black history course in the state of Kentucky in a public school in 1970, and taught it and took the first 2 classes offered at UK in black history and the history of the university in 1968 and 69. So, but all lives matter, and regardless of the color of your skin, red, yellow, brown, black, or white, born and unborn.
There's actually a song, red, yellow, black, and white, they're all precious
In His sight, all precious in Jesus' sight.
Absolutely.
Yep, diverse and unique. We had IMC the Special Olympics for 40 years in northern Kentucky. And, every child has value.
Absolutely. I was singing that song in my head as you were saying, as you were speaking.
That's
I
right.
remember that. So,
That's exactly
The
right.
Special Olympics, I've been to that.
Yes.
That's a wonderful.
Isn't it wonderful?
I'll tell you a little story.
Perfect north.
Tell us the
It is
story.
Awesome, and I got to experience. So I referee, and my hobby is refereeing high school sports.
Oh, wonderful.
And I've refereed the Special Olympics and been a part of it at Owen County High School, and
It's a great thing.
I'm telling you, that is one of the best events I've been to as far as being involved in sports. It was touching.
It is touching, isn't
You
it?
can't be moved by that. You can't be moved.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you what, gentlemen, you've moved me.
Well, thank you.
And,
Well, thank you for
I've
coming
enjoyed
in
this.
here.
well, God has blessed me
It's been wonderful.
by meeting you.
Thank you.
And I've enjoyed it immensely as a citizen, as a former political person,
Sure.
and as just plain old John Stephenson. It's a pleasure to have met you, and I wish you the best. And if I can ever be of help to you, you know my phone number now, 859-750-0000. It's always public. I get a lot of calls, and I try to help a lot of people.
Sure.
And I'm helping a bunch right now, and I'd like to take a moment and say a prayer for all the people I am helping. Do you all mind?
Absolutely.
Lord, bless these 2 gentlemen and bless their county. Continue to bless it with all of their citizens and all of our citizens in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Watch over the people that I'm trying to help right now. You know who they are and what their problems are, and all the government agencies I've tried to talk to help them. And Lord, thank you for giving me the education that you gave me and the knowledge that you've given me. Let me use it for good service for human beings and to honor you as these two gentlemen honor you in their service to this wonderful county, Gallatin County. Be with us today and watch over us as I close with one little verse of a song that Happy Chandler taught me many years ago when I was president of the student body at the community college in northern Kentucky. Oh, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. 'Tis summer, the children at play. The corn top's ripe, and the meadows are in bloom, and the birds make music all the day. Oh, the children roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by hard times comes a knocking at the door, then my old Kentucky home says good night. Weep no more, my ladies, oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away, for my old Kentucky home far away. God bless you, gentlemen. Thank you, Lord, for watching over us. Amen.
Amen.
I hope you all enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it myself.
Thank you.
And again, tell folks where they can reach you and your full name, Magistrate.
Ethan Moore, full name. Phone number is 859-743-1478.
And that's right here in Gallatin County.
Warsaw, Kentucky.
District
Gallatin
number?
County, District number 1.
District number 1. And Judge, Executive of Gallatin County, your full name?
Ryan Morris, Gallatin County Judge Executive. You can reach me at my cell phone. The best number is 859-206-3722. And be willing to speak with anyone. If I can help anyone in any way, I'll do my best to make that happen.
God bless both of you here. And praise the Lord for an opportunity to come and sit and just visit with you as good public servants.
I enjoyed it. That was enjoyable.
Now we have here, your name is?
Jennifer Brown, Mary Jane McCarty, Lisa Bullard,
Anna Bailey,
And you're in high school where?
Gallatin County.
middle school.
Middle school. Middle school. I don't know if they had middle school back in my day or not.
We had elementary and
They had bench school for me. I was on the bench outside the principal's office. He sat there and he said, "John, sit down. We're going to discuss restitution." I said, "What does restitution mean?" And so I sat there on the bench for about 2 hours. And next thing I know, he comes in the office and he says, "Come on in here, John. We're going to talk about restitution." And so I went in. He went over to the file cabinet, pulled out a long paddle and whacked me about 3 times. And he said, "Now that's restitution, and don't do it again." And I said, "I've never forgot the meaning of the word restitution my entire life."
No, thank you.
that's hilarious. Yeah, we always talk about that.
So I've learned a long time ago. If it don't belong to you, don't take it.
Yeah.
So, but it was a good lesson for me. Reuben Hinsdale, a wonderful man. And my principal and superintendent at Simon Kenton High School,
Simon Kenton?
Kenton County Schools.
Very good.
And his wife was my history teacher.
Oh my
And I went on to be a history teacher. Now we have, what is your role here?
I'm an executive assistant to the judge.
Fantastic.
Finance officer,
And we got to have that.
county treasurer.
County treasurer, and you're a junior high school student?
Yes.
What grade?
Middle school.
Middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade?
6th grade, yes.
Well, fantastic. And you're doing well in school.
Mhm.
Praise the Lord. Well, it's nice to be here with you today. And thank you so much for giving great assistance to all the citizens of Gallatin County. I appreciate it as former superintendent of education for Kentucky and former commissioner of motor vehicles and a bunch of other muckety-muck positions. But most important, as a Kentucky citizen, it takes good public servants, and you all are that. And so is your judge and your magistrate that I met. So God bless you and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody loves somebody sometime. Makes no difference when or where or how. Everybody loves somebody sometime. And Gallatin County, this is your time right now. God bless you.
God bless you.
Now, who do we have here?
Jim Hanson,
And what's your role here?
Director of Planning and Zoning.
Director of Planning and Zoning. And boy, today we need planning and zoning, don't we? You got to have planning to get anything really done, don't you?
Consistency.
Efficiency, that's exactly right. Well, thank you for your public service,
Thank you.
and God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Take care now.
Bye.
Gallatin County Courthouse. Originally, the front used to be on the other side, facing the river. But now it's on this side, facing 42, just for your information. As you can see, the beautiful Ohio River. Here in Watersall, Kentucky. Judge's office building. Watersall, Kentucky. Gallatin County School. Great school. Gallatin County High School. Thanks for visiting Warsaw.